Just testing this to see if it works. I assume I'm live? Yeah, it looks so. Okay, interesting. All right. Let me see. Hmm. One moment. Wait, that doesn't do anything? Oh, Logitech. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. No one should be here right now. Yeah, I'll be back. Current viewer chat. Just getting prepared. My apologies to anyone watching this in the future. Just some preliminary stuff. I will begin in a moment. As usual, this is not, meant to be an interactive thing. As I said, there is a part of me that is, I think about interacting with other Catholics. There certainly is a part of me that, thinks about that. But at the same time, I know that the more you interact with other people, the more, like, occasions of temptation you will face. Even, even just like, I don't know, even a simple disagreement about some earthly matter could be something like that, something troublesome. So, anyways, I believe I'm ready to go now. Greetings, people, and welcome back to Let's Read the Original Douay Rheims Bible. Today, I'm actually using OBS, like a certain like or screen recording, live streaming software thing. So I even have the logo in the corner there, right? In the future, I might consider, learning how to even have the blue outline and the orange outline and stuff too. Perhaps even how to play the intro before it starts, whatever. I don't know. I know people do live streams and stuff, and it's like there are things you can do to like basically make it look like an edited video, even though it's live, but I've really never really live streamed before. I think like the last episode or the last installment of this was the first time I really live streamed, I believe. I don't think I have live streamed before like that. So, anyways, we are now at chapter 4 of Genesis. Before we get into that, I do want to actually look at some of these questions from the previous installments. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to try to find stuff that is not too complex because that will require a lot of research probably. Regarding whether the serpent in the garden, like regarding whether there's any definitive information about the nature of that serpent, whether it was an animal possessed by the devil or it was the devil in animal form or whatever, I'm not certain. Uh, and I couldn't find it really easily. So that is still a question that is, unanswered for now. Let's see here. Regarding Hebrew etymology, that is a subject that, like, I'm cautious about just, like, say, Googling it and seeing what shows up fairly easily because I just feel as though there's a strong possibility that there's likely some kind of deception in the way that things are presented to us with regards to Hebrew etymology of words and stuff like that. Like I don't trust the custodians, the most, I guess, prominent or well-known custodians of modern Hebrew, right? To be like completely honest about everything. So God willing, I would rather potentially look and see what like a church father said about a certain Hebrew word or something like that than look at what like, some modern, Jewish website might say or something. You know what I mean? I just feel like I don't really trust their information to be untainted or completely truthful in its intentions. You understand? I just feel like there might be some agenda involved with the way the information is presented, you know? So next, so as far as Hebrew etymology of the name Eve, as well as I think Hebrew etymology or the Hebrew words for man and woman and how they're related, for those, God willing, I would prefer to actually at some point, if God wills, look into seeing what church fathers said or something like that, or instead of relying on modern persons who might have some anti-Christian agenda in the information they share and the way they share it. Because even as far as like, I believe the Old Testament says there's a passage about it says like a virgin shall conceive, and then there are other like translations I think that say a young woman shall conceive and stuff, and it's like this whole kind of like there's like a debate slash controversy about different people interpreting it as either a virgin or a young woman and that kind of stuff. I just would rather look at directly what an actual church authority said on the matter for that, like Hebrew etymology, like how certain scriptural passages should be translated and stuff like that, as opposed to these non-Christian actors. You understand? And when I say non-Christian, I'm including heretics because they're not true Christians, right? Let's continue here. Let me see. The next thing, let's see. As far as the creation of the souls of animals and plants, way too complex, I think, to, just kind of, briefly or briskly look that up. As far as how are women saved in the Old Testament if they were not circumcised and so on. What about female babies? Also quite a complex subject. And then what's next? Let's see. Oh, okay, this one should be a pretty easy one. Does the book of the Apocalypse speak of the tree of life? Okay, so as I said before, I do, God willing, plan in the future to make videos, perhaps called something like, Catholic questions and answers, where I would perhaps go through some of these questions and like, basically dedicate videos specifically to answering these questions and stuff. But there are some questions that I think are easy enough to research and arrive at an answer for that I don't mind, going over them here. So let's see. Right. Does the book of the Apocalypse